It's hard to believe. It's kind of shocking, really, that this week saw the second anniversary of the war in Ukraine, a war that I fear too many are forgetting, a war which sees destruction on a scale we haven't seen since World War II, and especially atrocities, the deliberate targeting of civilians, innocent Ukrainians, again and again and again. Sadly, there are those here in America who are not only forgetful of it, but seem to be sympathetic to the aggressor. There has been quite some blowback for Tucker Carlson's 2-hour-plus interview with Vladimir Putin. In my opinion, Putin was interviewing Tucker Carlson. It wasn't an interview of the former KGB colonel. And there are still others here who just don't get it. Do you remember disgraced Chairman of the Joint Chiefs, General Mark Milley, who said, Kiev is going to fall in 72 hours? No. I know the Ukrainians, and they will fight, fight, fight. This is their 1776, and I want an update from the theater of operations. And we are honored to have with us from the Ukrainian Parliament, Kira Rudik, and Special Advisor to the Minister for Strategic Industries, Yuriy. Welcome, both of you, to the Gorka Reality Check.
Thank you so much for having us.
So let's start with you, Ms. Rudik. What is the reality of life in Ukraine 2 years later? Are Ukrainians living their normal lives in the West, and then there's a battleground in the East? What is the day-to-day existence like for your fellow countrymen and women?
The reality of life right now is that when you're going to bed in the evening, you have no guarantee that you will wake up in the morning, because usually Russians attack our peaceful cities during the night. And just a month ago, there was a huge missile hit near the place where I live, and my windows were pulled off their frames. And I have witnessed this Armageddon that Ukrainians feel every single day in the different cities. It actually doesn't matter where you live, closer to the front or farther. You are a target just because we Ukrainians and we exist.
Mr. Sak, what is the spirit of the Ukrainian people, not just the fighting forces, but what is the spirit of the nation now that they are entering the third year of the war?
Ukrainian people are one big army, you know, those who fight on the front lines, those who live in other Ukrainian cities, but we all act as one, if you like, organism. We are all connected with the same goal, same objective. We are all suffering the same pain, the same losses, the same devastation. We all share the same hatred of these war crimes and these war criminals, and we are all united by an unshakable belief that we will win this war with the support of our allies. And I would like to thank the United States of America, the United States taxpayers for standing with Ukraine. And so we Ukrainians were united by this unshakable belief in our victory sooner or later, and we will bring to justice the perpetrators of these war crimes. Look, they have stolen more than 20,000 of our children. They have displaced millions of people. More than 4 million Ukrainians now live away in Europe and other countries. Now, we will reverse this trend. We will win the war, and we will restore peace, not just in Ukraine, but in Europe.
Wow, powerful words. Mr. Rudik, we have people here. I'm a conservative. My father escaped from a communist prison in the revolution of 1956. Sadly, we have some patriots here who say, this is not our problem. This is many, many thousands of miles away. What do you say to those conservatives who say Ukraine is not connected to the West or to America's future? You're talking to millions of people. I will post this video to my millions of followers. What is your message to those Americans?
I think it is very clear by now, the thing that we have been telling the whole world is Russia is not going to stop unless they are stopped, and we are here to stop it. And the question for the United States is, Is it going to continue to be a leader of the free world? And if you want to be a leader of the free world, you need to behave as leader. And there is a responsibility of supporting democracies throughout the world. I want to remind all of you why NATO alliance was created, to defend each other from the Soviet Union. And this is actually what we are doing right now. We are defending the freedom, we are defending the democracy, and we are defending actually NATO from the threat that is coming here. And I think it's everybody's business right now, because we are defining how the future would look like. Is it going to be a future where the authoritarian regime is going to win and going to tell Americans how to do and how to live and how to act? Or is it a place where the democracy will fight back and say, no, we are not falling down, we are not falling back, we are winning, and we are showing the world that the free people mean something and that the victory is ours.
Perfectly put, perfectly put. I have just a minute left, Mr. Sack. 2 years ago, I wrote my analysis as former strategist to President Trump, what I think Ukraine needs. I talked about munitions. I talked about lots of Warsaw Pact era equipment that's sitting in countries like NATO, Romania. And I talked about on my Substack article, the intelligence packages, the targeting information we could share with Ukraine to really hurt Russia as much as possible. I'm not sure much has changed since then, but you are in that prime position. What is it Ukraine needs the most from the West right now?
We need the Western support. Now, we understand that we cannot rely on the Western support indefinitely. This is why we are already building up our own defense industry base. And let me tell you, Dr. Gorka, something that you already know very well. Ukraine's victory, Ukraine's strength is in the national interest of the United States of America. The Republicans that you discussed with Ms. Rudik just now, this is the party of Ronald Reagan. Look, Ronald Reagan was the president of the United States who dedicated his life to dismantling the Soviet empire. So we will do what we have to do. We are not asking for American boots on the ground. We always say one simple thing: give us the tools, we'll finish the job.
I love it. I love it. People who believe in freedom support Ukraine. God bless you, your soldiers, the families supporting them. God bless Ukraine. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Do not give up. Western civilization is relying upon you.